Hey, Mark, how you doing, brother? I'm doing fine, man. How's everything going with you?
I can't complain. I got up today, so it's all good.
Fantastic. Well, guys, for those of you checking out the show, thanks so much for being a part of the show as always. And glad to have Mark back. Had some technical difficulties Friday night, and man, I had to ride solo. We missed you, Mark.
Well, hey, Phil, you're good at the solo deal, so
Yeah, we made it work. Had a good crowd that chimed in Friday night, but hope to have another good crowd tonight, Mark. And well, we got a lot of great football to talk about.
yeah, we do. As the season is, we're getting into it now. So we had a few meaningful games this past Friday, and it's going to continue to just keep on moving.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, we're going to go over some of these the games that took place this past Friday night. Of course, right off the bat, Milton continues to impress. Milton took on a tough Blessed Trinity team. Remember, Blessed Trinity is the team that has the toughest schedule in the state, based on the research that I did. And this is why Blessed Trinity playing all of these defending state champions, and Milton was the latest. And Blessed Trinity actually had the lead in that game, Mark, 10-0. But then Milton was able to bounce back, actually going to their, I guess this would be their third string quarterback. And he got it done. Boy, Milton just rolls out quarterback after quarterback, but whoever's in the game gets it done, and they win 21-10, Mark.
Yeah, do you know the status of their quarterback situation? What the status of Derek Baker is? Do we know when he'll be back? I know, of course, they keep winning, and it's truly amazing, but they keep going.
Yeah, to answer your question, Mark, I don't. I need to call Coach Reeves and get an update on what's going on up there. But yeah, they've again started with Derek Baker. Then they went to the backup Trey. I'm trying to remember Trey's last name. And then they used a third quarterback against Blessed Trinity, who looked good. Man, he uncorked a long pass that got Milton back in the game. But once again, Milton's special teams coming up huge, Mark. I don't know how many punts they I don't know how many punts they have blocked, but they get another big special teams play off a block punt, Mark. One guy blocked it. I think it was Billy Wevoda blocked it, and then another player picked it up, ran it to the house. Those are the kind of things really good teams do, Mark, as you know, and that's what Milton is relying on. Offense is getting it done with backup quarterback. It's like no matter who they put in position, Mark, they're winning.
Well, that's a mark of a good team, a great
Right.
program, finding a way to win. Certainly when you're missing players, but special teams is big. Look, we know you never think about special teams until they lose you a game or until they win you a game. Obviously, it helped Milton a lot. I watched some of that Blessed Trinity game, and Blessed Trinity's got a good team.
Well, they do have a good team, man. I tell you, listen, guys. Don't let private and just because they're a private school and they may not have a bunch of kids on the right, whatever. No, no. Blessed Trinity is a ball team. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I got a great program, great facilities there. As you mentioned, they have a very difficult schedule. That'll bode well for them once they get into region play. But Milton keeps winning. What can you say?
Absolutely, Mark. Let's check in to see who all's in the house. We got Everett Pearson is checking in from Camden County. We've got Jerry Harrison, who's checking in from Monroe area. Jerry, I was just about to get ready to put your guys in the top 10, and then, oops, they took a big loss Friday night. But hey, still got a great team, good season. I think they're 3-1 on the year. But I know Jerry Harrison, regular here on the show. Jerry, we appreciate you checking in. Also got Rosser Sutherland checking in. He's proud of his Marietta Blue Devils. By the way, Mark, Cameron Duke finally gets his first win as Marietta head football coach and his 100th win overall.
Yeah, good for him. You knew it was coming, so I know he's happy to get that first win and now keep moving.
Kelly Fountain is checking in from Rome, Georgia, home of the Rome Wolves. What's up, Kelly? Appreciate you checking in. Stephen K. Wynn checking in. Obadiah Farley, the #1 fan of Thomas County Central. Obadiah, what's up, brother? Obadiah said, I love all the acronyms, smart. Obadiah, what's going on? ITG, TCC, CIA, FBI, DEA. I just keep going with all the acronyms. I love it.
Well, again, Obadiah's a happy guy because he's a Thomas County Central fan. That train just keeps on rolling. I believe they're off Friday, though. Then we'll start region play after that, Phil. I believe they have Lee County. So we'll start to get into it and see what's happening.
Well, Mark, let's talk about, speaking of Lee County and Thomas County Central. Mark, I agree with you. Of course, I've been saying this from the very beginning. I think Thomas County Central really and truly is, once they get going, once their region schedule cranks up, anything can happen. As they say, Mark, any given night or any given Sunday, any given Friday night, in our case of high school football, I know anybody can beat anybody, but I think this is Thomas County Central's year. And I'll tell you why. I think Lee County, as we saw Friday night, we'll talk about. I know Flint, our guy Flint, your son Flint was at the game, Mark, the Lee County Colquitt game. It looks like they're down a little bit, that being Lee County. And, I don't know in 5A. I think it's Thomas County Central's year. I really believe that. We'll see.
Well, I don't know that I think the Colquitt Lee game coming out like it did, Lee County is going to refocus and come out and make a really good showing. I would think that TCC probably would have preferred them win that game.
Yeah.
But I agree. You got to play the game that's in front of you. But we all know, Coach Fabrizio is very competitive. He's going to have those kids ready to go in that first region game. We know Lee County has some athletes. That's not going to be a walkover. But again, TCC is hitting on all cylinders. They would have preferred Cocky to win that game for sure.
No doubt.
Colquitt righted the ship, obviously, to go in and dominate Lee County. Look, either way, Lee County is Lee County. They have good players, and to go in and win that game like that was big for Colquitt.
It was, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, and that sets the tone for them. I know they're playing Tuesday, the makeup game, I believe, with Monroe, and then they play, is it Rickards?
Yeah, Rickards.
Florida. Yeah, Rickards. Florida Friday. And then, boy, that really sets it up for a week from Friday when Colquitt and the Vikings have a big showdown at the Hog Pen. That game will be rocking.
Take you back a year ago, Mark, Lowndes, let's see, Colquitt had lost, I think it was 7-3 to Valdosta. And I may have this, my timeline's a little fuzzy, but it seems like Colquitt County needed a late field goal to beat Lowndes. I think that was a 38-35 game. You guys help me out if I'm off here, but that was one of those games, Mark, had they not won that one, it could have made all the difference in the world. As it turned out, they won that. And, of course, they went on to win the region, Mark. But, that's just how fickle this region is this year. One game, and I wrote a story earlier in the year that's called a make or break season for some of these teams. And I think these games like we're going to see Colquitt and Lowndes being a region contest, Mark, I think that those games it's going to be more important now than ever in the early going to win your region games. I think that's how tight things are.
Well, the margin of error is very thin, and Joshua Chase, Garcho Did I say that
Yeah.
name right?
Yeah. You did.
Anyway, that game is not at the Hog Pit. For some reason, I thought I saw that it was. It is at the Concrete Palace. So, it's hard to go to the Concrete Palace and win. Big home field advantage for the Vikings. That that game's a coin toss, in my opinion.
Justin Fletcher comes through and answers the question I have been wanting to know. And I posted out there Friday, I guess it was. So, Mark, I've been wondering is it George Lamons or George Lamons?
George
So I was asking.
Lemons.
Yes, I've been
Lemons.
pronouncing it wrong for years now.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet him several months ago, and that's how he pronounced it. So hey, that's how I
Okay.
roll. Is his name?
Okay. Yep. That I think he would know for sure. But Justin Fletcher says, "Hey Phil, to answer your question from Friday night, George Lamons isn't pronounced like the car, like Le Mans. I
Look,
really
if he
enjoy.
was
I
going to be a
really
car, it wouldn't be a Le Mans. It'd be like a Porsche or Ferrari, a BMW or something. That it wouldn't be a Le Mans, that's for sure.
Justin, I really enjoy listening to you. Hey, Justin, thank you for that, buddy. I really appreciate that. And I want to thank everybody that hung with me Friday night. Like I said, we weren't able to get Mark in. We had some technical difficulties, but we were able to get the show up and going. And I tell you, we went 2 hours strong, man. But I could not have done it without you guys. Y'all were there to help me out. And Mark, we had a lot of fun. I hate you missed it, but here we are back tonight, ready to rock and roll again. But Justin, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that.
So Phil, what do you think about your Tift County Blue Devils? Houston County did not show any mercy on them.
Man, that was I got to tell you, I was not surprised that Hoco won. I was surprised at the margin of victory. Now I do know that Tift County's running back, the Holloman young man, went out pretty early with an injury. I am hearing that he's okay. That he's got movement in all of his extremities. Initially I thought it was a knee, and I'm going to answer your question. But so Kamari Holloman, the all-everything running back for Tift County, suffered an injury, and it was a scary scene apparently up there at Freedom Field Friday night, where they took all the precautions as you would expect with a neck injury. And they weren't sure. Anyway, it delayed the game for about 15 minutes while they gingerly tended to Kamari Holloman. But Mark, for one, I'm pleased to update everybody on the fact that I think he's doing well. That's good news, first and foremost. But the fact that he was lost early, the fact that he is such a weapon for Tift County, there's no doubt it took a lot of the sting out of that Tift County offense. It probably didn't do any wonders for the guys' emotions as well. So, having said all that, not taking anything away from Houston County, they really stepped up in a big way. And I got to tell you, and I've said this before, I thought Houston County, Mark, losing A.J. Hill, I thought it was going to be to the detriment of the team, because we all know how good A.J. Hill was. Fantastic quarterback, goes to Memphis. But I got to be honest with you. This young man that's taking over for A.J. Hill at quarterback, Ryan Maxwell, he has stepped in and has done a wonderful job. He was one of our top 10 performers from Friday night. I think he completed 75% of his passes. He's having a phenomenal season, and he's almost to the point, Mark, where he's asking everybody, AJ Hill, AJ who? I mean, he's been doing that well, stepping in for the departed former 4-year starter, Mark.
Well, first of all, I'm glad the young man from Tift County is doing good. That's always tough when you see someone to go down with what could be a serious injury, and they take all the precautions. So yeah, I'm sure that impacted the psyche of the Tift County players. I mean, if they're normal,
Right.
It would have to. That being said, I think Houston County's got a really good team, and Are they going to be the team that is the threat to Thomas County Central? And to your point with AJ Hill, sometimes a team will lose a quarterback. I mean, you're very dependent on a quarterback, and then you lose that player. It seems like everybody steps up. And
Yep.
I always go to the example of Tennessee with Peyton Manning, never won a national championship. He leaves, they win a national championship the next year. And I think you're looking at Hoko. You're also looking at Carrollton is playing very good. And I
Yeah.
predicted, I said, look, they may be better without Juju. I mean, they have a lot of good players on that team. So sometimes you can recover from losing a big time player. Team comes together. Uh, you hate to lose a key player like that, but sometimes it works the opposite. Team rallies, and who knows, they may do better this year.
That's a good point. I think it's the next man up. Just like you said, Mark. It's hey, we don't have AJ Hill. Sometimes the team maybe can get too dependent on a great player like that, and so they realize that hey, we don't have him. So we got to everybody else has got to step up, and I think that's exactly what's happened. Ryan Maxwell, by the way, the quarterback for Houston County, I think Coach said he's 15 years old. So he's a young sophomore. And but man, I tell you, he is playing at a maturity level beyond his years, Mark. And I got to tell you right now, at this moment, I would put Houston County and Thomas County Central right at the top of Region 258.
Well, anything can happen in that region. Of course, Coach Edwards has to feel good. He's going to have that young man for 2 more years. So watch out for them. I don't know. There are other key players, but it sounds like he's doing a great job developing players, doing a great job with his team. He'll have that young man for 2 more years. So, again, I think anything can happen in that region. We have Jeremy Williams said Coffee will win the region easy and take the #1 seed. So
he's not serious.
You never know. Hey, who knows? Anything can happen, right?
Well, it can. And look, I'm not. This is
out of everybody last year.
Yeah, I just think I think we got a couple of teams in that region. I think Lee, Coffee, and listen, both those coaches. I don't want to make sure you understand. To our listeners out there, viewers. So I talked to Mike Coe in the offseason. Talked, of course, to Dean Fabrizio, which I talked to him a lot. They both pretty much, and they'll shoot straight with you. Coe had told me, hey, we've got a young bunch of guys. And Fabrizio said, hey, we're inexperienced. So I think both coaches understand, what's at stake. I mean, they're not sugarcoating it. They're not giving you the, any kind of false bravado. But I think that they understand that, hey, we could be in for a challenge this year. And I say that for both teams, speaking on behalf of both teams. And I don't think anything that I'm saying now is anything they would necessarily disagree with, because I pretty much have gotten it from their side, from what they've told me. And I just think that, you lose a Tyrese Woodgett, who, by the way, is killing it at Georgia Military. I think that's where he's at. So, again, I think the situations basically at Coffee and Lee County, Mark, are very similar. You got some young guys, inexperienced guys. I think the quarterback position is a little unsure right now. So I think that's kind of where we are with Coffee and Lee. Not that they cannot win the region, but I just don't think they have that prevailing dominant program and that dominant roster that we've seen from both those teams the last couple of years.
Well, again, first thing, what a great job Coach Coe has done at Coffee.
Oh, 100%.
Championship.
100%.
They were in the hunt last year. They were playing at the end. So he's done a great job.
That's right.
I agree. I think that TCC right now, Houston County's playing good. But look, I don't think you can count Lee or Coffee out for that matter. We all have to remember it's a one-game tournament.
Yep.
That's it. And to be honest with you, I think any of these teams can beat the other one on any given day. The question is it one of those things where we all know, hey, if these two teams play, one of them's going to win 9 out of 10 times, but what if it's that one time? And
That's right.
so I think that comes down to coaching, home field, weather, a turnover. You never know what can happen. I'll stay behind what I've said. It's it's the teams down here, Thomas County Central, Houston, Lee, Coffee versus Milton and Gainesville up top. Is there anybody you see, Phil, that'll come from that we're not thinking about that can compete for a state championship other than those teams I just mentioned?
And you're talking about 5A, right?
5A.
Well, of course, Langston Hughes has really, and I'll be honest with you, and I'll have to eat a little crow here. I didn't think that Hughes would be the powerhouse team that they showed last year. I know they had lost a good bit from last year's team, but nevertheless, Hughes has really impressed. I thought the loss of Coach Boone may hurt, but give credit to Coach Enrico Hines, who, of course, was the former offensive coordinator there back in the championship season of 2022. So to answer your question, it looks like Hughes could be stepping up and maybe be the top contender in 5A to challenge Thomas County Central. I haven't looked. Well, I did look a while back, Mark, at the brackets to see how things could shape up, and I even wrote a couple of stories about if this happens and that happens, and this could be a possible matchup in the playoffs. But having said that, right now I would say probably Houston County. I would say Hughes, Thomas County Central. Milton. I think all those teams are pretty close together.
Well, Milton keeps winning, so you have to take your hat off Coach Ben Reeves. I don't think he's played a game yet with. I know the Buford game. Derek Baker went out toward the end of that game, and still that game came down to the end. So he just keeps winning. He's done an outstanding job. So they could be in it. Gainesville. You got to tip your hat to Carrollton to go into Gainesville and win that game the way that they did. But again, I know that I think that's a wake up call for Gainesville. Sometimes a loss can do you good. Both those teams have everything still in front of them. Obviously, Carrollton got the win, but Coach Niblet, I heard him say after the game, "Hey, look, we're still learning." We're still going to get better, and everything they want is still in front of them. So I think that loss will come back and pay dividends for Gainesville down the road. Sometimes it's better to lose a game. If you can believe it, Randy McPherson, among other coaches, have told me that. I was talking to him, and they won a state championship, but they had lost the first game. And we talked after. He said, sometimes a loss is good. Sometimes a loss can wake you up. And he said, look, don't get me wrong, I want to win every game, but I didn't have a problem with that loss. Now, I know Coach Niblet wants to win every game, but it was not a region game. I do know once they get into region play, everything's very important. You need to win a region. You need to have your home field. I think that is critical if you want to be in the hunt at the end. You need that home field. It's hard to go on the road.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I gotta say that's true almost at any level. Hey, unless you're UGA and you go to Tennessee. I mean, Kirby's had Tennessee's number, right? And traveling up to Tennessee, winning that game, boy, that was an incredible game. I don't know if you watched that, but again, it's hard to win on the road.
Yeah, Roswell, by the way, but we're talking about Roswell, one of the 5A teams. Don't look out for Roswell now. JT's doing a great job up there. But what made me think about them, Mark, was they've got they're right in the midst of, I think, 5 consecutive road games. And I think it's like 6 out of 7 games away from their home stadium up there in Roswell. So, that's another thing to see if these teams can survive. You survive a road trip like that, makes you stronger, pulls you back together, and that's another thing to watch. But I'm with you on these away games. I do think there's some positive though that bring teams together. Mark, a couple of things I want to mention because I know these are really going to involve your opinion on this. So let me see here. Well, first of all, Darius Kirksey. He's my number one Langston Hughes fan. And look, Darius, you're right, man. I think I undersold Langston Hughes for sure. They have really come on strong, and good for them. I'm pleased to see that. Now, Darius has got a question, or actually states Langston Hughes over Douglas County has been the most impressive 5A win so far. I'm not going to necessarily argue that. That was a big win if you're talking about just 2 5A teams for sure. So I'm with you there on that one, Darius. Mark, this one I'm going to give to you, Mark. Joshua Chase Garto wants to know. He says, Phil, what's your thoughts on the mighty Mater Dei losing? Mark, I know you know those folks pretty well. You went up there and represented us out to the West Coast. So I want to get your take on that, Mark. We were keeping an eye on that Mater Dei game. Alan Clanton had brought me up to speed. They were losing really bad, made a comeback, but still fell. Just want to get your thoughts on Mater Dei's loss. I think they lost to Centennial Coronado.
They did. Interestingly enough, I was out there 2 years ago when they played Centennial. I saw the game. Centennial played them close, but Mater Dei pulled away at the end. Boy, it's hard to figure out what happened there. I did start watching that game, and boy, I tell you, Centennial, I have to give them credit. They put it on them. They just came out and got way ahead. Mater Dei, as you mentioned, made a big comeback. I don't know if it's a case where Mater Dei sometimes can get overconfident. They hadn't lost a game, and somebody can correct me. I know they didn't lose a game last year, but I don't think they lost a game the year before. They were coming off back-to-back national champion, state and national champion. So I'm just not sure kind of what happened, but I'm shocked. So that opens the door up. It looks like it's Bosco, and I did watch Bosco play St. Francis out of Maryland. I saw St. Francis play in Fort Lauderdale. Bosco won that game by a touchdown, but St. Francis could have just as easily have won that game. I think if I were looking into a crystal ball, I'd love to see St. Francis and Bosco play. I'm not sure how that'll work. Actually, I think they did play now. They may have played the second game. And they beat St. Francis by a touchdown. So I think it's wide open there for Bosco to win a national championship. I don't know that anybody's going to beat them.
All right, guys, let's talk about some of the action from Friday night. And I tell you, this was a game that I had almost put in my pick 6. I didn't. I wish I had. And Mark, that was this big matchup between Heard County and Bowden. Heard County going into Friday night was our number 10 team in Class A Division I. You had Bowden, of course, was our third-ranked team in Class A Division II. But this was one heck of a football game. And in the end, it was indeed Heard County pulling it out 29-28, I think was the final. And I had a chance to talk with Heard County's quarterback. It was actually Saturday. I talked with, if I have to pull his name up, it's escaping me right now. But anyway, young man had himself a whale of a ball game. Ethan Tisdale is the young man's name. Wanted to be a part of our top 10 performers and sent me his stats. And sure enough, he made our top 10 performers list for this week. Great young man, Ethan Tisdale, starting quarterback for Burke County, Mark, leads them to a big win over Bowden. And Mark, here's another team now that we're talking about. And, again, this is something I have been referring to all season long. These blue blood programs who are having they're just a little off this year. We talked about North Cobb. We talked about Mill Creek. Just trying to think of some others, and I'm in the process of writing a story about this. But, Mark, throw in Bowden as another blue blood program. 3 consecutive state championships. I mean, they've been coasting until this year. And so they're still a great football team, but they are really struggling. And great win for Heard County to come back and beat your 3-time defending state champion, the Bowden Red Devils, Mark.
Well, look, first of all, Bowden winning three in a row. That's a heck of an accomplishment for anyone. But at some point, it's just a law of odds. I mean, how long can you keep doing that?
Right.
We've seen a few teams. I mean, Buford there years ago, boy, they had a streak for about 10 years. That was just crazy. And then if you go further back, you can look at some of the Valdosta teams. But I think it's hard in today's environment to look, they won 3 in a row. I mean, I don't know what more you can ask for than that.
Yeah, exactly. And Mark, look, let's also talk about, and I'm so glad that we're able to talk about this because we weren't able to talk about it Friday with you not being able to join me, but Brooks County, Mark, we got to salute and we need to give a game ball to Josh McFather, Mark. You and I were both saying the last couple of Friday nights when we were reporting Brooks County losing, we both said, hey, they're still a very good football team. They traditionally have started this way. I think they were 1-4 last year, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, they come back and make the state title game. They lose to the aforementioned Bowden team. But Mark, Josh McFather and Brooks County, 0-3. Everybody's ready to run them out of town. Everybody's counting them out. They defeat a really good Fitzgerald Purple Hurricane squad of West Tankersley, who were undefeated on the year. And Brooks County underdogs in that game, but they win, Mark, and they win decidedly. I think it was 21-3 the final.
Well,
great win for Brooks County, Mark.
Look, Brooks County's got athletes. We've talked about it, so don't be surprised if they're not playing at the end. He'll get it figured out. I know there was some quarterback issues, I think, to start the season, but there's too many athletes on that team for them not to do well. Phil, also, I want to make sure we give a shout out to Dr. Kevin Collins with the Houston Clinic.
Yes.
He must have done a great job getting those boys ready at Cochran for that Lee County. I mean, he had them fixed up just right against Lee County. But Dr. Kevin Collins in the Houston Clinic, I mean, serving all of South Georgia, outstanding person. We talked about his schedule before, the way he travels with these teams and Cochran and Valdosta State. And, he has a practice. He's a great guy. Listen, he loves what he does. There's a passion for it. He's in it for the right reasons. And he works on people like you and I, Phil. You had to be an athlete to go see Dr. Collins.
Hey, we appreciate Dr. Collins sponsors our Monday night show, Extra Point. We appreciate that. And he's also sponsor of the Sean Calhoun Coaches Show, Mark, that we do. One of the, 6 coaches shows that we do produce every week.
Well, it's probably a good conversation with Coach Calhoun today, I would think. Did he have that hog hat back on today?
It'll be tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk to him tomorrow morning.
Hey, I hope if he's listening, I hope he puts back on that hog hat.
Mark, I was actually thinking about that this afternoon. I thought, look, guys got to be happy. And, you broke it out the last time after the Benedictine win. Mark, you know what that reminds me of? The old saying, to the victor go the spoils.
Hey, there's a winner and a loser. Great guy, though. Good sports. I mean, that's the thing in South Georgia. I think I know for the most part, man, it's very competitive. It's physical. All these coaches and players want to win. I think after the game, though, it is high school football. These are kids. You can shake your opponent's hand and walk off, and nothing wrong feeling good about yourself when you're winning these games.
That's right. That's right. And I tell you, when you start talking about great programs and great coaches, Mark, I mean, right at the top of the list, Dean Fabrizio and Sean Calhoun, right?
Great guys and a very competitive. But at the end of the day, there's a winner and a loser. Hey, that's why we play the game. This in participation. Hopefully
That's
it doesn't
right.
get like that. Hey, with the way the world's going, who knows? Let's just give every
Boy,
team a trophy, and hey, they all co-winners and everything. I
isn't that the
mean,
truth?
there's got to be a winner and a loser.
That's right. That's right.
And I don't know, Phil, if Donnie Jarvis is still listening. He said you could turn your volume down a tad. I could turn mine up. My microphone was a little bit away from me there. I'm trying to get it a little bit closer, but I don't know if Donnie's still out there. Let us know how we're sounding now.
Yeah, check 1 2. Let me turn my. Is anybody else think I'm blowing you out? Let
Well,
me know.
Phil, your voice carries. Your voice
Yeah.
carries. Yeah, your voice carries a little bit there.
It reminds me every time we do the banquet every year. We host our high school football banquet, Mark, where we honor, how many teams? 30, 35 teams.
30, something like that.
And Mark started this thing years ago, and it has grown, guys. So big shout out to what Mark does for us and starting that banquet. But we host that high school football banquet every year, and but my point being that I'll get up there every year when we start testing our mic, and I have to put that mic way back. Yeah. Mark's like, Phil, you're too loud,
Phil
man.
Don't need a mic. Phil, you can just go with it. Hey, man, you don't need a mic. If we have the mic problems and need somebody to get a message out, we just call Phil on. Phil, handle it. The amplifier system is gone. The speakers aren't working. You can just get the message out.
That's funny. That is so funny. I love it. Absolutely love it. But so yeah, let's talk about. But before we move on, so much for there was some question about Colquitt County before the season. Man, they lost a lot. They lost Ryan Fitzgerald, the kicker. First time, in 8 years that they haven't had a Fitzgerald kicking.
They had a Fitzgerald kicking. That's right. Those guys are good.
Right, they are. But Mark, look, and again, look at the coaching job that Sean Calhoun has done. You got all these question marks. You do have Jay Lamar, but I got to tell you, I mean, he's not a one-man show, but you guys know what I mean. He is the guy, make no doubt about it. Having said all that, Colquitt County has defeated Benedictine. They have defeated Lee County. And that's it. I mean, they got they lost to North Gwinnett 21-7. Mark, they did lose that one, but 3 games they'll make up game 4 and catch back up this weekend with game 5. But that's a pretty good start for Colquitt County in that brutal schedule they were looking at.
Yeah, it's a great start. As we talk about a lot, look, in South Georgia, you're for the most part. You're playing with homegrown kids. You're not getting a lot of move-ins. There's not a lot of people moving to South Georgia. And there's not a lot of people moving around in South Georgia. So, it certainly is, for all the South Georgia teams, a testament to the coaches, the job they do at developing talent. Kids coming up through the program. I know Sean Calhoun does a great job with that. Runs a great program. I know there's the kids excited about, in middle school, coming up to play at high school. But I think that's critical. You got to be able to do that in South Georgia to have a successful, well, really anywhere, but especially South Georgia. It's a little different in Atlanta. Look, you got more options, and you can go wherever you would choose to go once you leave the 8th grade. And I do think in Atlanta, you have kids getting out of the 8th grade. sometimes you get a couple of good players that decide, well, hey, let's go to this school, and certainly nobody's going to turn them down. Hey, we want players, so hey, for sure we'll take it. But you're not getting that in South Georgia. It's just not happening.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause. Mark, there's reason for pause here. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Nelson, aka Big Buford, has joined the party. Luke Nelson, Big Buford, has joined us. I'm late, but Big Buford is in the house. What's up, Luke? Luke's a great guy, great family. He is Mr. Buford, let me tell you. Luke, what's up, buddy?
Well, Douglas County, played them close Friday, from what I understand.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Buford got out to a pretty big lead, Mark, and then Douglas County did make a late surge. But, I like to see teams, never say die, Mark, and they were able to bounce back.
Well, Buford's going to be tough. Their defense is really good, physical. Look, we're seeing it at all levels. Georgia went into Tennessee, and Gunnar Stockton had a great game. But Georgia wins that game at the line of scrimmage, very physical. You see the Philadelphia Eagles winning. They're winning at the line of scrimmage in a running game. I'll take a great running game.
Yep.
Line of scrimmage, be able to run the ball.
Yep.
And a good defense any day. I'll take that.
All right, Mark, let me ask you this, because I'm with you 100%. And I want to ask you guys a question. By the way, Darius Kirksey, and I agree with this real quick, Sequoia looks good in 5A. Don't sleep on those boys. Darius, I'm right there with you, man. Sequoia, remember, they're the team that eliminated Gainesville last year. They did get put out by a Coffee. I think it was the quarterfinals but anyway, I'm right there with you. Mark, remember this name, the Sequoia. They are a team on the rise. Now, having said that, Mark, what did you think about, and I want to get everybody else's opinion on this. What did y'all think about Paul, what was his name, the coach for Georgia Tech? Gosh, it escaped me. Paul Johnson.
Paul Johnson.
Listen, absolutely love that triple option offense, ball control. Mark, it's built around running the football. It's built around gaining about 3 yards a down, about 3.5 yards a down, using as much clock as you can, not getting any hurry. And that's really, to me, the essence of football. I get the fact that people love to throw it around, and look, I get it. That's exciting. But Mark, I want to get your take on this, because a lot of people will tell me that is not an enjoyable. That's not enjoyable football. I completely disagree. I loved when Paul Johnson's offense, run, again, 3.5 yards first down, 3.5 yards second down, third down. Well, even if you got 4th and 1, you're going to go for it. You're going to make it. I love that offense of Paul Johnson's. Mark, what's your take on that? And I want to get y'all's take on that type of triple option ball control offense that Paul Johnson runs better than anybody.
Well, Phil, your buddy Matt the Buck says we are stuck in the 20s. It's air raid time. So we know the Buck like to throw it around. But look, I got to tell you.
He stuck in on me there.
Yeah, there's certainly nothing wrong with dominating the line of scrimmage. I think the Eagles won last night. Jalen Hurts had like 100, and I don't even know if he had 100 yards passing. When you think about it, and in Kansas City, Mahomes didn't have a lot of yards passing either. So, I don't know. You just kind of look at what's going on. Look at Georgia. I know if you're a Georgia fan, and hey, look, I agree with Coach DeBuck. Throwing it around, it looks good, and just zooming up and down the field. But to see Georgia take that opening kickoff at Tennessee and take up half the quarter, running it, I think they only passed on one play in that drive to open that third quarter, went down I can tell you, and I think Coach Buck would agree, man, if you're a coach and you're dominating the line, it is demoralizing to the other team. I do
Yeah.
believe, Phil, you're right, 3 yards here, 4 yards here. But if you keep doing that, you're going to break long runs because you get the
Yeah.
leaning on that defense a lot and you're just pounding on them. It takes its toll.
Mark, I'm right there with you. I just think it is the essence of football. Wear down the teeth of the defense. Maintain. Yeah, look, it's real simple. We've got the football, and we're going to keep your offense from coming on the field and getting the football. It's the very basics, right?
Yep. And here's the other thing, Phil. I mean, look, football at the high school level is more physical than college or pro. Of
Yeah.
course, I've said this before. I don't mean the players aren't as big. No, I'm not saying they hit as hard, but when you're matching player to player, I'm just saying they call more, uh, personal fouls. You can't touch the quarterback at the professional level. So certainly not saying that a high school player can, hit harder than these players at the professional level. But when you're comparing, kind of the apples to apples, a high school level, I think the kids are allowed to play more so than players at the college or pro level. I mean, because if you
Yeah.
just look at the quarterback at the professional level, they throw a flag. And, at the high school level, they let the kids play. And look,
Yeah.
I think to this day, one of maybe the hardest hit I've ever seen, high school, college, or pro. Now, I was at the game, so I saw it up close, was when Cook County was playing Fitzgerald, and those teams used to battle, have some very, intense rivalry. And Shannon Brown was playing linebacker, and Fitzgerald when Buddy Nobles, the Nobles kid, was quarterback, and he took the ball and was going to run and hesitated in the gap. Shannon Brown hit him, total legal hit. His
Yeah.
body went limp before he hit the ground. It was a scary scene. They called the ambulance to drive out on the field. Took him away. He ended up missing 4 games, but he was fine.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, I think the high school game is more physical. Look, I say it all the time. Go to a high school football game. You can be close to the field. You go to the right game, they're going to play hard. They're going to be physical. Hey, I enjoy Friday nights.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm right there with you, 100%. By the way, good to see Matt DeBuck. Matt, you snuck in on me. Matt DeBuck, head coach of the Cardinal Gibbons Chiefs down in Fort Lauderdale. Thanks so much for checking out the show, brother. All right, let's again talk about some of the games from Friday night. Looking to see, of course, we talked about Douglas County and Buford. We talked about how about Carrollton and Gainesville, Mark? You've got we talked about that, of course, last week. Carrollton beats Gainesville 43-21. I think that was pretty close to the score last year, Mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Again, I was a little shocked at that score. I didn't get a chance. I checked in on that game, watched a little bit, but I'm not really I don't know how was that true to the score and Carrollton dominated the game, or did Gainesville have turnovers and a lot of penalties? Carrollton's going to be in this thing, it looks like, but excuse me, I do think Grayson is loaded. They keep winning. I've seen them up close. Boy, are they loaded with athletes. I think Grayson's going to be the team to beat. They won it last year, but I do think Buford, and it looks like Carrollton may have something to say about that. And I don't think you can count the South Georgia teams out. Again, it's a one-game tournament.
Can anybody update me on the Carrollton quarterback situation? You had had Juju Lewis, of course, graduated, and we had the young man that came down from South Carolina His name escapes me right now, but he came down from South Carolina, transferred in. There was a lot made of him. He was doing pretty good, I thought, in the off season. And lo and behold, you now got CJ Cipher as the starting quarterback for Carrollton. I just don't know what happened there. Did the young man move down from South Carolina and just didn't make the cut? Eerily similar, Mark, to the situation of the Albritton kid who came down from Milwaukee to Milton. And, I guess he walked in, I don't know if he thought that he was going to have to compete with somebody. I'm not sure how that happened. But anyway, it was the Albritton young man. I think it was Braylon Albritton, comes from Milwaukee Science Academy to Milton. And Derek Baker obviously moved in, I think it was a month later. He came, of course, from St. Thomas Aquinas. He wound up winning the job, did Baker. And now, lo and behold, you've got neither one of them playing. Of course, Albritton kid transferred to a school in Mississippi, but Derek Baker was the starter, and I'm assuming injury has kept him out. But Milton goes with the third string quarterback. I'm just saying that there's a lot of similarities there, and it's been kind of a crazy year, Mark, for the quarterback situation, which has been, in flux for a lot of different teams. Milton, Grayson,
Well,
who else we got?
You always talk about the quarterback position. I mean, look, if you're, if your first team quarterback goes down, I mean, that's the guy that he's been taking all the reps. He's been, he's the one that everything's planned around. So that's going to be a blow to your team. Now, speaking to kids moving around, boy, I tell you what, I'd be real careful before I moved, from Wisconsin down to Georgia to play football. I think I'd have to have some assurances that, hey, we're going to play. Look, if you're good, they're going to find you. I mean, certainly in this day and age, they're going to find you. There's too many ways to get seen and filmed. Now, I agree. You could say I want to move because this team is run better. They have a better weight training program. They run like a D1 college program. They're going to play tougher competition. There's some reason, but to up and move that far, to me, boy, that's a bit much. But hey, listen, I can't say anything. If my son, was a really good player, would I move for him? Well, I may. Who knows? I don't know if I'd move that far. If I did, I'd have to get a contract. Let's get a contract going in high school, right?
No kidding, right?
You can't get money right now. You can get NIL, but as far as playing the game, hey, I need a contract that I'm going to start. So I'm moving here. I got a contract to start. We can't have somebody moving in at the last minute, and that's hilarious. My family, or I've come all the way down here. Hey, I got to have a contract. I got to start. So that's kind of the way. That's the way I would do it. Boy, that's tough. I mean, that's a lot of moving from Wisconsin to Georgia, now with Mississippi. Hindsight 2020. Had he stayed, he would probably be the starter. And I don't know, Phil, if you know, or if anybody in the chat knows, what is the extent of Derek Baker's injury with Milton? Do we know when he'll be coming back?
Yeah, Darius Kirksey has put it out there. Any update on Baker's injury at Milton? So I want to bring awareness to that, in addition to what Darius is asking, in addition to what Mark is asking. I want to ask as well, guys, anybody got anything on Derek Baker there at Milton to see what's happening with him? Just kind of interested there. Let me see here. Got something coming in.
So, Phil, we got Stephen K. Wynn that says CJ Cipher, the Carrollton freshman QB. How about that? Carrollton starting a freshman quarterback, coming right in and just obviously doing a great job.
Well, Mark, and that's another thing. Look at all, it used to be almost taboo for a true, I say true freshman, a freshman to start at quarterback in Georgia high school football, right? I mean, you just didn't see it that often. Mark,
No,
you
you
feel
did
that?
not.
Yeah.
But we talked about it before. I mentioned there's so many of these 7-on-7 camps. There's so many training programs these kids get in when they're, when they're middle school, really even younger, and they're
Yeah.
trained so well. So I mean, physically, if they are prepared to play, then mentally, if they've been getting trained from a young age, they're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. That's a great example there. And hey, look, if they're mature and they've got the skills, but let's think back. So when was it when we had the young man over at Thompson in Alabama who came in as a freshman? Heck, he might have been an eighth grader.
Eighth grader, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. Remember, he comes in, Seagraves. He comes in as Trent. No, yeah, Trent Seagraves. Seaborn. I'm all around it. I'm somewhere there. But he comes in, saves the day for Thompson, the Warriors, and leads them to a state championship, Mark. And then you got the young man who did the same thing. Fast forward a couple of years. Last year, you had the young man as Trace Hawkins for Calhoun, I believe.
That's right.
And so now you've got this young man from Milton, coming in. I mean, it just it's crazy. Yeah, this is used to be what used to be the exception is now becoming kind of the norm.
Again, these kids are ready, man. They start getting trained from a young age. Let's face it, sports is big time. It always has. Now with NIL and all the money flowing in to colleges, and now it's starting to get in at the high school level. I think you're going to keep seeing this. If you have a kid that looks good, looks promising, there's a lot of ways to get him prepared, to start as a freshman in high school. Now, what is a fine
Right.
line? Because these are kids. It's tough, but you see some kids like from the age of 10, they're kind
Yeah.
of just programmed. I guess, hey, look, if the kid wants to do it and the family can afford to do it, then hey, it's all good. But I think to push so hard on children that young, boy, it's a fine line.
I agree. 100%. Okay, so Mark, Damian Billy, not Billy Damien, but Damian Billy says out for the season, from my understanding. And again, I'm assuming that's the update on Derek Baker. One thing's for sure, when we get through the show, I'll be able to have a clear understanding because I'll pick up the phone and call Coach Ben Reeves. So yeah, we'll get an answer for that.
Well, that's a tough loss for Milton if that's the case. But again, they keep winning. Coach Reeves does an outstanding job, but I think that is a tough loss. I mean, that
In fact,
kid's alone. He was a warrior in that Buford game. I mean, he took a beating, boy, but he kept coming back. He's a talented guy and can really run the ball. I mean, so that's a big loss for them. I think that's
I'm
going
going
to
to go ahead.
open up 5A.
Yeah, exactly. And again, they find they get it done with the backup. I guess essentially the third string, Mark. And this young man who came off the bench. But I'm reaching out to Ben Reeves right now. I'm going to shoot him a little quick text and see if he can answer us before we get off the air.
Yeah, that's a tough go to lose your quarterback. So, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe they keep winning.
Mark, let's take a look. I'll tell you another team to watch out for. And, I called these, one of the top 5 teams to watch back in the preseason, Mark, and that is McEachern. The McEachern Indians continue to play well. They continue to look good. Now, they had a gimme game against a Campbell team that was outmatched. But McEachern, I'll tell you this, and this comes straight from the horse's mouth with Director of Football Operations Mike Martin was sharing with me. They have been beset with injuries this year. And McEachern has been able to get off to a 4-0 start without the services of J.J. Campbell, their top running back. Jerrion J.J. Campbell, I mean, absolute beast of a running back. He's a top 5 running back in the state, without a doubt. But you've got him. You've got a couple of top Division I prospects over the defense that are out. You've got a big-time wide receiver, I believe, who hasn't been able to play. And so it's just been one thing after another with that team, but still managing to hang around. And can you imagine if they're playing this well at 4-0 with, almost like one hand tied behind your back? So they're going to get these guys started. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're flying under the radar a little bit. Now, McEachern historically always had good athletes. They're really known for their basketball players. I mean, they've had a couple of NBA lottery picks come out of McEachern, but they always have a lot of really good football athletes as well. I think they're flying under the radar, which is probably where they would prefer to be. But you're right. Again, they keep winning.
That's right. That's exactly right. So just keep an eye on McEachern, certainly one. Marka, as we go through the rest of class in Class 6A, and again, we're looking at the ITG Next, our top 10 that is a part of the statewide composite poll, where ITG Next, we place our poll along with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Georgia High School Football Daily, Score Atlanta, 680 The Fan Atlanta, the Maxwell ratings, I think that's it. And together, us entities come up with what's called the composite poll. It really gives you your true statewide poll. I say all that to say, and I want to get your take on this, Mark, and I want to hear what you guys have got to say. Class 6A has got, the top 5 are pretty much without question. And then after the top 5, and look, I'm not saying these are not good teams. I don't want anybody to misunderstand, but I'm just wondering, and let me give you guys an example. I was just wondering if the back half of the top 10, are they going to be able to step up and win a state title this year? Okay. In other words, our top 10, I put Camden County in last week at number 10. I got a little bit of ridicule for it. This week, our cohorts joined ITG Next and ranked Camden as the top 10 team, the number 10 team in the state. Colquitt County, Valdosta, how about that? Your 8, 9, and 10 teams in the Class 6A statewide poll all hail from Region 1 6A.
It's not a surprise. Region 1 6A is always well represented. Again, I think the key for the teams in Region 1 6A is getting that home field. So I don't care where it is. If you're traveling to Camden, Valdosta, Lowndes, Colquitt, wherever, it's tough to win. So, getting that home field is important. Phil, I just think it's probability. I think you have Grayson, and then it comes down to, I think everybody agrees Grayson is 1 and Buford is 2. I don't think there's any debate there. The question is, like you mentioned, can these lower teams beat them? I'll say it right now. If Grayson or Buford has to travel south, that will make a difference.
If who has to travel south, Mark?
If Grayson or Buford have to travel south, that will make a difference.
Got you. I got you. So here's a quick little quiz, and I'll let everybody do this. Mark, and I want to get your answers if you don't mind. So in our Class 6A poll, so Grayson, yes or no, the following team has a great chance of winning a state championship. Grayson.
Well, the
Yes.
chance.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes. No. So Buford, yes or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Carrollton.
Again, man, I'm rating the two that you just said. You know,
uh,
I think they got, if you're going 1 to 10, uh, Grayson and Buford have got, I think you put them at a 10. I think you put Carrollton, right up there at about 7 or 8 or an 8. I mean, they're playing good and go in and beat
yeah.
a good Gainesville team at Gainesville. It's a hard place to go in and get a win.
So yeah. Well, here's my whole thing in doing this. I mean, I'm looking at the top 10, and we can do this for every classification. I guess when I get to a certain point, and I'm not alone in this, when I get to a certain point of ranking the top 10 teams in 6A, the point that I was making, you've got your pretty surefire blue blood teams. No question about these teams belonging. And again, all these teams are really good, or they wouldn't be considered to be ranked. But the teams like Lowndes, very good team. They've been in our top 10, from the very beginning. Valdosta, they've been neck and neck in the top 10. Douglas County now looks like they're kind of revealing maybe a little bit of a weakness. Aaron Gregory has played the wide receiver, but the other gentleman, is it Devin Carter? They've got those two wide receivers. One of them has been, I think, inactive all year. So my point being, if you understand what I'm saying, it looks like maybe the back half of the top 10, they're deserving to be ranked. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just wondering, do we expect them to make a run to the state finals when the playoffs come around? I guess that's what I'm shooting for.
Phil, anything can happen. I did get a chance. I saw some of the Valdosta Jesuit game, and I think I mentioned. I mean, Valdosta looked good. I caught the second half. They were physical. They were able to run the ball. I mean, I thought they looked really good, moving a fast tempo. I mean, I saw a couple of really good passes, but I was impressed with the run game. And again, I'm going back to it. If you can run the game, dominate the line of scrimmage, you got a shot. So, Phil, we got
100%.
to get to your pick six. We can't let this time get away and not address your pick six. I don't know how you
Yeah.
did. I'm just curious.
I went 5-1 this week.
5-1.
Yep. Hang on just a second. Let me get my my book here.
Uh-oh.
And hang on just a second. Yes, Mark.
Phil, you're
Yeah.
supposed to be prepared for this.
I know it. I know it. You're absolutely right. No doubt about that. All right, here we go. It's right here. Okay.
All right, Phil.
I got two laptops. What's that? What's that, Mark?
Yeah, I said we couldn't see you there for a minute.
Yeah, I had to step up and get my laptop.
I think I already know who the loss was. Yeah.
You're killing me.
It's going to be interesting to see that pick six a week from Friday.
No, what do you mean? As far as all the region games? Oh, you're talking about Wintersville Classic.
Your pick six. We got some tough region games coming up a week from Friday.
Yeah, so, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That pick six is going to get interesting.
Okay, so here we go. So my pick six for this past week, I had Colquitt defeating Lee County 28-21. And Colquitt won 43-36. So Colquitt won by a touchdown. I had them picked to win by a touchdown.
How about that?
Yeah, so not too far off. Well, not far off at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought Colquitt was a touchdown better, and they won by a touchdown. So 1-0 there, Mark. I had Lowndes picked to beat Cale. I thought that game would be a little bit closer than it was, Mark. I had Lowndes 35-28. Lowndes actually wins that game, Mark, pretty handedly, 38-7.
Yeah, I think I'd mentioned Cal going into the Concrete Palace. That was going to be right. I didn't think they had a chance.
Yeah.
And I think Cal, they're a
Uh,
great program. I've visited Cal several times, but again, Lowndes, great home field.
yeah, that's another thing, Mark. Lowndes, and somebody brought this up Friday night. Lowndes may have one of, if not the best home field advantage. Now, I think Buford's going to be right up there, obviously, with their new stadium and all the bells and whistles. Um,
Well, I think at
you
the
know,
Concrete Palace,
yeah,
I don't know how many
yeah,
season ticket holders Buford has. I'm sure they have a lot, but I know the lounge numbers close to 5,000. I think the band, I think the Georgia Bridgeman tippet to Lowndes. I mean, you got a band that big? It's crazy.
yeah. I tell you, I know they have to put the band. They put them in the end zone,
Yes.
but it'd be good to see that band up there in the section, where they normally are. Um,
Well, you got too many of them.
yeah, I got you. I got you. Um, all right, so the other pick six. So I had Buford defeating Douglas County, Mark, by 9 points. 42-33 was my pick. So I had Buford by 9. Buford won by 8.
Well, Phil, you're doing pretty good right now, Phil.
Yeah, not too
Yeah.
bad. Not too
Yeah.
bad. And these were tough games. Mark, I
Uh,
had go ahead.
Phil, we're gonna have some fun, not this Friday, but next Friday. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick the 6 games that you pick.
Oh yeah,
Let
let's
me
do
pick the
that.
6 games. Okay, here they are, Phil. You pick them.
Okay, let's do
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna
Let's
make
do
that
that.
happen. Yeah,
All right,
next
so
Monday,
yeah,
I'm gonna pick 6 games, not this Friday, but the next Friday.
you got it. You got it. Yeah, let's have a little fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
one other thing, Mark, I was thinking about this today. I'd like to start having a one of our viewers, pick against me. Maybe you
Okay.
select the games and each
I'll
of us
tell you
pick.
what. I'll pick 6 games for you to pick, and you come out and say you get a pick. Maybe some of the folks in the chat make the case for the other way.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't we do that? I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. In fact, we need to address that though next Monday's show, so we can have some time to let the viewers in the chat clearly point out to you where you're wrong.
You killing me,
Hey,
man.
yeah.
I got you. Um, yeah, that's fair. So let me see here. I had Milton 28-21 over Blessed Trinity. Let's see here. Milton won 21-10. So I had Milton winning by a touchdown. They actually win by 11. So not too bad. I had Valdosta winning 35-13, Mark. Valdosta won 41-3.
Yeah, that was not much of a game.
No, it really wasn't. And Mark, the one that I got wrong was Gainesville. I picked Gainesville to win. I thought they would beat Carrollton. I had Gainesville winning 28-24, Mark. And as it turned out, Carrollton won 43-21.
I was a little surprised at the score. I mean, again, a little surprised that they got. Well, it can't be a big surprise that Carrollton won. Carrollton's got a great team. Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did think Gaines would probably get that win, but I'm a little bit surprised at the score.
Me too. Me too, Mark. It really was. So 5-1 last week on the pick six. So not bad.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Well,
Yeah.
who's your pick six this coming Friday?
Um,
Do you know?
let me. Yeah. Let me think. All right. Let me see here. I'll tell you in just a second. One moment. All right. Here we go. Bear with me.
All right, Phil. I mean, are you second guessing some of those games that you got to? Is that what's going on?
No. All right, here we go. And Mark, I tell you, these are some big ones now, and this will take place Friday night. And Mark, I'll call out the game. You want to give me your score, and I'll tell you what I picked, or you
Well,
want
I don't know, man. I'm gonna let you do this picking. You call
to?
out the
Okay.
game. If I have a thought, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. So Fitzgerald at Worth County, and guys, we're talking about my pick six for this coming week. Fitzgerald at Worth County. Now look, you guys don't think this is going to be something? Remember, Worth County gets eliminated, Mark, last year. Remember, it looked like Worth County had it in the bag. They had a big lead over Fitzgerald late in the game, and they let Fitzgerald come back and beat them. So this is kind of the revenge game, if you will, for Jeff Hammond at Worth County, who's doing a great job there, by the way, Mark.
Yeah, well,
But
look, that's my hometown, so
yeah.
I believe the Rams are throwing that ball around all over the place. They can also run the ball. They got a great offense. So
Yeah.
the Rams maybe get some revenge on that one.
No doubt. I'm with you 100%. So Fitzgerald, remember, Fitzgerald takes their first loss of the year this past week. They get beat 21-3 by a resurgent Brooks County team. So this thing could go two ways. Okay. Is Fitzgerald going to be fighting mad and bounce back and say, hey, that thing against Brooks County last week, that was a fluke. We're back and we're here to let you know that we are the team? Or is he going to go to Worth County, who's going to say, hey, you know what? We're rolling so far. Mark just said it. They're throwing the ball all around and able to run it. Defense is playing well. So one or two things are going to happen. I think what's going to happen is Worth County wins it in a big way. I'm going Worth County 35-14 over Fitzgerald.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you'll be far. Again, look, I think this could be the Rams' year. I hope so. I'd love to see them get a state championship.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. So let me see here. Cook at Irwin, next up on the docket. Now, this is another game, Mark. What has happened to Irwin County? Really fell off the radar this year. Again, I kind of saw this coming. I thought this could be a struggle, could be a little bit of a transition year. And guys, everybody has them. It's just with Irwin, Mark, it's been a long time since Irwin have what we call an off year, right?
They have been consistently good. Again, I think, who knows? I think this game could go either way.
So Irwin really having a tough go of it this year. I've got Cook, and I've got this a low scoring slugfest. And I've got Cook winning 12-6 over Irwin County.
How about that? 12-6. Good baseball score going there.
Yeah. I tell you, Mark, here's why. Cook's defense is playing pretty well, although Cook really got it handed to him this past week against Cairo. That really surprised me, Mark. Um, Great win for David Coleman and the Syrup Maker program. But on the other hand, Cook really struggling offensively. So I think Cook is able to muster just enough offense, a little more than Irwin this weekend, and they get the win by technically a touchdown, but no extra point.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Next up.
Mark, Crisp County at Swainsboro. Boy, this is another big one, let me tell you. Swainsboro is undefeated. Okay. And their second consecutive home game. They beat Thompson at home last week. And Justin Newman and Chris were able to pick up their first win of the year against Doherty. So I am looking at Swainsboro to win this one in a squeaker, 14-7.
All right, another close one.
Yeah. So, Mark, so far to recap, I've got Swainsboro over Crisp. I've got Cook over Irwin. I've got Worth County over Fitzgerald. All right, 3 more left. Mark, it's Collins Hill at Central Gwinnett.
Okay.
Collins Hill gets off to the 0-2 start for the year, right?
They got a lot of good athletes. I mean,
They do.
Yeah, that's. Of course, you
But they get up to the yeah.
I mean,
what's that?
So.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying. Collins Hill started off 0-2, but it's kind of like the Brooks analogy we use, Mark. I mean, Collins Hill they're 0-2, but nobody's ready to throw them out. I'm certainly not. So Collins Hill is able to be able to bounce. They bounce back to 2-2 now, and I think they go to 3-2. Mark, I've got them beating Central Gwinnett 27-13.
Okay.
By the way, love Central Gwinnett's name, the Black Knights.
The Black Knights. Okay. Hey, we know he's got the syrup makers. I mean,
there you go.
Right there.
There you go. I love mascot high school. Look, Mark, that's another one of the things that makes high school football great. It's the mascots, right?
Mascots in the band. What more can
There you go. There you go. So now I want you to listen on this one now, because at first glance you're going to be like, huh? Okay, region opener for Roswell and Seckinger. Seckinger is playing really good football. They're one of these flying under the radar teams. Seckinger is one of these teams who has really been fighting for respectability, trying to get out of the bottom of their region and trying to beat a team like a Roswell. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Roswell is in the midst of this, I think, 5 straight game road trip. So they're going to go to Buford Friday night, Mark.
Who is this going to Buford?
Roswell.
Okay.
Seckinger is in Buford. And so Roswell's going to travel to Buford, not to take on the Buford Wolves, but to take on Seckinger High School, the Jaguars. And I think Roswell wins this game, but I think it's going to be tight for a while. So Seckinger, again, is one of these teams up and coming. Remember, Milton used to really struggle. They've gotten better, and obviously in a big way. I think Seckinger may be the other team to watch for, Mark. Watch for them to be able to pull some of that talent from Buford, not meaning the team Buford, but the town Buford.
So who wins that game?
Roswell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a surprise.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, but look out for Seckinger. Like I said, I think they're undefeated, and they're going to come in and make a game of this one. And the last one we've got is Hebron Christian, your defending private champion, taking on who? Blessed Trinity. Mark, I don't know who made Blessed Trinity's schedule, but goodness, not good gracious, man.
Yeah, they need to check on who did that.
Let's see. Hebron Christian took on defending Class 5A state champion Milton. Okay. I'm sorry, Blessed Trinity took on defending 5A state champion Milton, Blessed Trinity. Now, Blessed Trinity is going to take on defending private state champion Hebron Christian. This, again, is why I gave them the toughest schedule in the state this year.
Well, I think that's how you build your program. You know,
no doubt.
You play tough competition, get your team prepared, play all comers, so to speak. You know, my hat's off to it.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, Mark. But I tell you, I think Blessed Trinity, they will not lose 2 in a row. They gave Milton all they could handle. I think they bounce back off the game against Milton, and they'll win over Hebron Christian will. Blessed Trinity wins at 32-30. So I like Blessed Trinity to bounce back and get the win Friday night.
Okay, all right. So, Phil, you know, I tell you what, time's about flown by. Here, it's almost that time. So next Monday, we need to make sure we have your graphic made for your pick six for the upcoming Friday. I'll make sure we work on that. And I'm going to pick the games, and you're going to pick the winners and the scores. And we'll try to post it up earlier in the day on Monday.
Okay.
And let people check it out. Hey, we want to hear your feedback. How is Phil going to do? You know, maybe we have some contest or something. Phil against somebody in the chat. You know, they pick and you pick. Because there's some interesting games. You know, I think there's some good ones. So I think it can make for some good fun. So make sure that we have that ready to go next Monday.
But before we get out of here, I want to say hello to my one of my best friends, Jamie Fraley Seeger over in Camden County. Well, they've had a lot to cheer for this year, hadn't you, Jamie? Jamie, great lady, great friend, Jamie Fraley Seeger, Camden County's #1 fan. So I want to say hello to her. Just real quick, get some of these names. By the way, Ben Reeves did get back with me. Let me tell you what Ben Reeves said. This is straight from Milton's head football coach, guys. Again, we were asking about Derek Baker. Mark, you still with us?
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sitting here waiting on the news here.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So Ben Reeves, when I asked him about Derek Baker, Phil, he's still out, but he will be back. Timetable still to be determined. But his body is healing at a rapid rate, faster than expected, according to the doctors. So
good for
they
him.
do expect, it is good for him. And so it looks like hopefully that will not be a season-ending injury for Derek Baker, Mark.
Well, Coach Reed, he's just trying to hang on to me, man. They keep winning, doing a great job, and boy, if he gets Derek Baker back at the end of the season. And that young team is starting to play, you know, gel together, which they obviously keep winning. Well, you know, who knows, man? They could make it a run for a third.
Reggie's checking in. Again, I want to get some of these before we get out of here, Mark. Reggie, his son plays quarterback for Camden. So we got some Lake Camden folks coming in here late. Mark, say hello to Reggie. That is our guy, man, at Camden County, the quarterback over there.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that his son is a quarterback, man. Congratulations to you. That's great. It's a fun time. You know, when your son's playing football, I know you're proud of him.
William. Yeah, Williams' his name, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, William. Yeah.
Jose Padilla is checking in, Thomas County Central fan. We'll try to get some of you guys in before we get out of here. And some of y'all hadn't said hello to Larry Baker checking in here late. Jose Padilla, how you doing, brother? Almost missed you, man. I'm glad I did not. Luke Bush checking in from Lowndes County. Go Vikings. Luke, you guys understand the sacrifice that gentleman makes. He gets up there every morning for the Feed the Vikings program. They feed Lowndes, the whole roster, 3 meals a day, Mark, 7 days a week.
How about that? Well, a lot goes into that. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
programs are, started these programs where they're making sure their kids are fed, which is a good thing. We take a lot of things for granted, but some of these meals, the kids need them. And some of them, it's very appreciated that they're able to get that meal.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, don't know. There's Leslie Fennell, a big Valdosta fan. Leslie, talking about your son earlier today. I think he is one of the top cats for Valdosta. Want to ask, is he expected to go anywhere, Leslie? Inquiring minds want to know. Marquise is her son.
Okay. Yeah. What position?
Well, Mark, I don't want to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mark, are you ready to bail out? Let me see. She'll answer before we get out of here. Leslie, what position does your son play, Marquise, for Valdosta High School?
Inquiring minds want to know. So, Phil, before we get out of here,
Yeah.
clarify. I'm going to pick the 6 games, and then Monday we'll have you pick those games. We'll post those games early, and we'll get a chance to see what's going on, see how you come out.
Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good. So Leslie says, no way. I don't know if that means Brooks Carr. Good evening, Phil Jones. What's up, Brooks? So Leslie says, no way. I don't know if that means he's not D1 or she's shocked that we're talking about him. Not sure which one, but Leslie says he's running back and slot receiver. He is a great player. I can tell you that. I know that.
Well, Valdosta is loaded with running backs. He's one of them. I know they were all choking the rock against Jesuit. You know, I watched that game, man. Great running game. So I feel like good things can happen for the Cats this year.
Yeah, Mark, I agree with you. Look, I've said this before, and I said it on Friday night show, Mark. Coach Felton has got to get the Cats over that hump. And by that, I mean that early playoff hump that has kind of stifled their progress the last couple of years. And look, I get it. You're going to run into some stiff competition, but Valdosta has got the talent. I really believe that. I said it Friday night. I think they've got the talent to win this region. I really believe that.
Yeah, they'll certainly be in this region battle for sure. And I think Leslie may think, Phil, you were thinking, is he leaving the Wildcats? You were referring after his Wildcat career is over. Will he have an opportunity to play in college?
Right. That's what we meant, Leslie. Just wondering if he's got an opportunity to play, because I've heard a lot of great things about your son, and I know we've talked about him on the show, especially on Friday nights, and I've heard a lot of things about him. So yeah, just kind of curious if he has plans, if he's being recruited, to go on to play college ball. That's what we're asking.
Well, it's always a great time of the year, as the season moves on, and especially if you have a child, that's playing, a kid, it's nothing like Friday night football, and even better if they have an opportunity to go get an education, and it doesn't matter where it is. If you get an education paid for, that's a wonderful thing. And I see Leslie definitely planning to play D1. Good for him.
We may need to chat with that young man.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, Phil, I think that'd be a good way to sign out of here. And I guess until Friday, uh, we'll see everybody Friday night, see how these games shake out, and then the real fun begins as the region schedule starts the following week.
Absolutely, Mark. It's getting fun time of the year now, right?
Getting fun time of the year. I'll give you you take the last word.
So I want to mention my buddy Jose Padilla says, Mr. Phil, you look like the head coach at Crisp County. At least you're dressed like one. Yeah, this is by the way, the visor came from my friends Jimmy Hughes, who's the athletic director there at Crisp County. Good to see them finally get their first win. But Mark, definitely going to have a fun talking about. There's some great games coming up this week. We're starting to get now into region play, and Mark, this is where you're going to separate the pretenders from the contenders. This is where it starts. And I'll say this, and we'll get out of here. It's going to be fun watching Region 1-6A and 2-5A. Because right now, I think they're both just a complete toss-up, Mark. And
I do agree.
Yeah.
I do agree.
So, all right, Mark. So with that, we'll kind of we'll let everybody ponder those regions, and maybe we can come back Friday night and talk about the scores and maybe give some predictions. And because hey, where things are heating up in Georgia high school football. Don't forget, by the way, follow us at ITG Next. All of our platforms, guys. Don't forget, we've got a lot happening at ITG Next with our coaches shows, this podcast, the one we do on Friday night. We have a boatload of good content for you guys to check out. So be sure to like our pages, share our content, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So on behalf of Mark Dykes, I'm Phil Jones. You've been watching the Monday night version of Extra Point, again, brought to you by Dr. Kevin Collins, the Houston Clinic. We'll talk to you guys on Friday. Have a good